Hello guys, so this is my video number 2 about jeans, and today we're gonna talk about each shape of jeans. How is it called? Why is it called like that? And then what is its origin? Where is it coming from? Its history. It's important to know so we would know what exactly we're looking for ourselves and what we're buying in the shops nowadays. If you watched my first video about history of jeans, I'm gonna leave the link down below. So before Second World War, jeans were mostly straight. They had pretty similar shape for everyone. In 1934, Levi's recreated jeans for women. They were just slightly narrower in shape, closer to legs and maybe holding the butt area. For men, it was slightly wider. We start checking about how jeans shapes were changing every 5 years. So we're gonna start with 1950. So in 1950, the shape of the jeans was straight. For women, it was slightly narrower to the leg, but it still were more straight. It wasn't skinny or anything, and it wasn't super wide as well. It was just regular straight jeans with high waist, pretty long. Sometimes they would roll it up just to create those cuffs and just make it slightly higher. As we call it now, straight leg. But at that time, that looked approximately like that. Marilyn Monroe, she was wearing jeans. It was boyfriend jeans, kind of a boyfriend jeans. So she made it popular, slightly straight jeans, pretty wide leg, comparing to regular women type of jeans, yeah? So it was slightly straight, slightly like for a man, more like for a woman, and then she would roll them up a little bit and they were straight and they were pretty free on her body. They looked like men's jeans on a female body. That looked very charming for many people, so that kind of gave that a little bit of a trend for women to wear boyfriend jeans, and now it's called boyfriend, and now boyfriends are sitting a bit lower on the waist because they are slightly loose. Basically, men considered to be creatures with straighter hips. So they don't need all those differences between the waist and butt. So they sit slightly lower on the hips. It's more straight looking on a woman. So normally they are rolled up just to show the ankle. So something feminine would stick out of that. So not to create that stocky appearance for a woman. 1955, Capri jeans were very popular. Capri is island in Italy, and so that trend comes from that place. And sometimes they would roll them up just to make them look like capri pants. Capri is longer than the knee kind of a length, not ankle length. I would say slightly higher than ankle length. So that was very popular approximately in 1955. In the 60s, we start having bell bottoms. Bottom of the jeans is like a bell shape. And those jeans were even more popular in the 70s. So the bottom width of them was exaggerated a little bit just to create that shape of very exaggerated bottom. 60s, 70s, I would say, it was bell bottoms. In 1965, they started having appliques on jeans because it started having that movement of children of nature. It's closer to the hippies time, so people like to do that craft, creating different kinds of appliques on the jeans. And also at that time, it was music. It was Jimi Hendrix. It was many rock bands at that time. So for rockers, that was a great way to express themselves, doing those patchwork on the jeans. Now, flared jeans. Flared jeans are a little bit different than bootcut. Flared jeans are slightly wider already at the thighs area too. And they go even wider to the bottom. So first it started, that shape of pants actually started in the Navy, US Navy, for sailors, the guys who work on the ships, on the sea. It started in the 19th century. They were dealing with water a lot. They were scrubbing the deck. So it was easier to roll these jeans up like that. Also, if they would fall down, deal with water, and then those jeans are just easier and faster to take off rather than it would be like narrower jeans or skinnier jeans. They really stick to the skin and it's super hard to take them off. So it looks like that was the reason for those wider flared pants for those sailors. So later, the idea was revived by this singer Cher in 70s TV show. So after that, it became super popular. And then if you remember, there was disco music a lot in the 70s. They also loved to wear those platform shoes, big platform shoes, huge, big, bulky shoes with those kind of flared pants. Those pants look very long and they were like tubes, and they would finish right at the floor, sometimes covering the shoes completely. Also ABBA and many artists like this. Jackson 5, remember? Michael Jackson. They also loved that. And Elvis Presley actually too. In the 70s, I think that shape of pants, it was part of his artistic outfits all the time on stage. 1975, catsuit was very popular. It looked approximately like that. That's why they call it catsuit. They used it a lot for disco music also. Now in the late 70s, punk music was very popular. And then punk movements, there were like teenagers who was playing the heavy metal punk music, very aggressive, and they had this kind of social disagreement. They were disagreeing with people of traditions. They went for inversion of traditional values of people, so they would make things around them look bad, look distressed. So that was kind of their style. So they were so much disagreeing, so they were proving them wrong. They were making things opposite. They were pretty aggressive. They were insisting on their rightness. Many teenagers went after them. So this is why in 1980s it was very popular rips on the jeans. So this is why it became very popular, and then it went to just classic rockers. And rock music can be very soft and sweet. It was more like a fun and naughty aesthetic rather than very heavy and aggressive disagreement. So Madonna actually was also one of those who was dressing up in ripped jeans, and many people went after that. 1985, acid wash. Also paper bag jeans or just pants became very popular in the 80s. Paper bag basically is just when you're trying to package something with a paper and the paper stands out like this, like a fringe or something, yeah? So that looks like a paper bag, like a package. How did it all start with washed out color on the jeans? It started actually some decades before. It started in the 60s when in California there were many surfers. They would put their jeans on the sun to dry out, and with salty water it just really was washing out the color on the jeans, especially on those prominent places of the body, or just in general. The color of the jeans was fading a lot, and then in the end the jeans were almost white. That is what did salty water in the sun. But then it kind of became cool. It became super stylish because those guys and girls, they were very tanned, yeah? With this dark skin, those blue jeans with washed out middle was looking so cool, was so contrasted, very California style, very sun style. Some surfers, they even wanted to fasten the process, so they would buy just regular blue jeans. They would use bleach mixed with water, and then they would put those jeans there so they would fade naturally, their color would fade naturally. Now in Italy there was a company called Riffle Jeans. They patented one way how they can make jeans acid wash. So it happened in 1986 when they patented that, because they accidentally tumbled jeans with pumice stones wetted with bleach in a washing machine without water, just by accident. And they found this great way how to make jeans acid wash. In the 80s sometimes, and now they still do this, they have this kind of marble-ish kind of discoloration, even sometimes like light spots, and then with ribs also. That looked very rock and roll, very rock style. 1990s, Dungarees. Dungaree is a small village in India where they produced very cheap fabric, and with this fabric they were producing cheap working clothes. But Levi's jeans were making this kind of dungarees several decades ago, and also many Hollywood stars were wearing that, so they made it pretty popular. So for some time that working man clothes, like really working man clothes, was very popular. But then it kind of calmed down a little bit for several decades, and then it got back in the 90s. If you remember TLC and Sync, those kind of bands, they were very popular in the 90s. They were wearing these dungarees. And also baggy jeans. Baggy jeans also became very popular in the 90s because of crisscross rap duo. Again, I don't know how old are you guys, but maybe some of you remember. These two guys, they were, I think, 13 and 14 years old when they became pretty famous. So they were dressing up in those very huge and baggy jeans. So they became very popular, and both men and women were wearing that. It's huge, oversized unshaped jeans. 1995, bootcut jeans became pretty popular. So the original purpose of bootcut jeans was to wear them over cowboy boots. They were narrower at the top. Later, it was very sleek at the top. If we talk about bootcut jeans for women, yeah, it's very sleek at the butt area, and then to the knee, it's very sleek, and then it goes slightly wider, so the boots could be inside. So first it was for cowboys, and then it got back a little bit in the 60s and 70s for hippies movements and stuff. So at that time it was more like flared jeans too, wider and narrower, like more like bootcut. And then bootcut got back in 1995. They're very elongating the leg. Also in 1995, women were wearing that boots with a heel. So those boots were under that slightly wider ending of the jeans. Those years, bootcut jeans would be combined with low-waisted jeans, and even lower waist started in 2000s. So first, this low-rise was invented by Irene Casimir in 1957 in LA. It rose popularity in the 60s with hippies too. So hippies liked to wear those lower rise flared jeans or bootcut jeans, and sometimes they would wear it with belt, also with patches and appliques on the jeans. But then it all came back in 2000s, and it started with Kate Moss in British magazine The Face. So she was wearing low-rise jeans in 1993. So after that, in 2000s, Levi Strauss started making those jeans because it was super trendy, something new finally, because everything that was before, high-waist jeans, mid-waist jeans, it was all looking too old-fashioned. So it was like a fresh air, very super coolish. In 2005, embellished jeans. It was like a comeback again. It was a comeback from the 70s, 69, Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix, rock and roll musicians. They were making those embroidery embellishments, appliques on the jeans, on their flared jeans, on bootcut jeans. There were a little bit of those jeans each decade after that. In the 70s, it was a little bit in disco area, in the 80s a little bit, so that came back in 2005. And it all comes probably from the revival of that US rock, like Lenny Kravitz, Steven Tyler, Aerosmith, doing this kind of jeans, like exaggerated embellishment, embroidery on the jeans. 2010, we have skinny jeans, finally. So first, royal French men were wearing skinny pants in 1700s. In the 60s, we have their unisex look. Men, mods, and rockers and rock and rollers, James Dean, Elvis Presley, they were wearing those kind of a skinnier pants. So that was very unisex and very rock and roll mood, rockabilly. So stars like Audrey Hepburn and Brigitte Bardot, they were wearing those skinny jeans, slightly shorter at the ankle, which made them look very cute and slightly childish, like a little girl. So that is another aesthetic of those kind of jeans. In the 80s, they were also skinny jeans. It was more like connected to punk's movement with safety pins, with ribs, and some patches. But mostly why they became so popular in 2010, because there was a band in New York called The Strokes. These guys became very, very popular, and then everybody was making photos of them. So they were wearing those skinny jeans. The Strokes were playing popular at that time genre of music, indie rock. Hipsters aesthetic. It was kind of slightly 50s, slightly vintagey, slightly retro style of the jeans. So it was kind of mods of the 60s came back, or rock and rollers of the 60s came back. Also in 2000s, just several years before that, there was a movement called emo. Teenagers, probably you know. Emo means emotion and hardcore together, those two words. Emotional and hardcore. So basically it was like teenage punk movement with a lot of sadness, with music like that, with a lot of sadness in the lyrics, melancholy, but at the same time pretty rough and hardcore. So they looked approximately like that, and they dressed like that. They normally did very dark smoky eye makeup, black hair, or with some pink stripes. And guys and girls in this movement looked very similar. So they were wearing pretty much same clothes, they had the same hair, even makeup and earrings and piercing and stuff. So this is when we see really that unisex So men and women are wearing same thing. 2015, mom jeans. So mom jeans basically is high-waisted women's jeans, loose at the belly, slightly here at the front, give that slightly rounded butt appearance, so buttocks look disproportionately longer, flatter and rounder and larger. Why did they call them mom jeans? You know, I remember that moment watching YouTube, and then many people were talking about mom jeans and how beautiful that looks. So I went to the shop and I could see mom jeans everywhere, and they called like that mom jeans. And I couldn't believe it. Like before we didn't have something like that. So I was very interested. Before it was kind of like unstylish. It's like very aging, but now it was back in fashion. So what happened? So in the USA, there's a TV show called Saturday Night Live. And there was a comedian, Tina Fey, and she kind of created that fake brand of jeans, mom jeans. You can watch it, you can find it on YouTube. It's very funny. She made fun of this mom jean shape. She did it in 2003. In this show. After that, in several years, in the shops, this kind of jeans started appearing with this particular name, mom jeans. In that little video, she said, "I'm not a woman anymore, I'm a mom." It became very popular in 2015, and I also think it's very connected to that whole butt situation with Kim Kardashian, with butt implants. It all happened approximately at the same time when bigger butt for a woman, bigger hips, became much more desirable for women, kind of like a body trend. And I think this is why those mom jeans kind of got back on the stage. Now 2020, 2021, now it's 2022, but approximately in 2020, we have straight jeans again. So it looks like we've made a full circle. We've had probably everything already. We got back to those straight jeans where everything started. Of course, nowadays, straight jeans, they probably look slightly different. They are made slightly differently. Maybe they don't look exactly like it looked those many years ago. But you see, there is a cycle. So looks like we've done this cycle. Now let's go to Zara's site and let's see what kind of jeans they present nowadays. Okay, ripped wide leg jeans. Okay, we know where it's coming from. This kind of wide leg, it's not 90s, of course. It's more like a Chanel pants type in 1930s, but at the time it was not more like not jeans but pants. So mostly it's like tubes, you know, very straight and wide, start being wide from the hip area. So I think the shape itself is from 1930s, but it's just jeans. It made in jeans shape. And I think maybe it started already in the 70s, to be honest. I think hippies and flare jeans, it's all kind of very close to each other. But now they present it and they actually do it ripped jeans in this shape, which never happened before, of course, in all those decades that we observed. Also, they cut on the bottom of the jeans and they don't sew it. So it's like raw cut on the bottom. That also happened maybe with punks a little bit, but mostly it happens lately. Now they have mom fit jeans. Nowadays mom jeans, they're mostly up till ankle point, so not to make us look very wide and heavy. And normally it's high waist or mid waist nowadays. And they do it also in different colors, which is very cool because in the 80s mom jeans were mostly like blue color. Now slim jeans. Slim is more like in the 30s. It's more like Levi Strauss model 701, like those first jeans for women, but they are narrower slightly, I would say. So slim jeans is not like skinny. Skinny is like jeggings. So skinny is like super sleek on your leg. And slim jeans, they still have slight wideness maybe at the ankle, and they are slightly maybe more free sitting on your leg, not as squeezing it. Now, cropped flare. It's also something new. Before it was just flare jeans and they were cropped jeans, but now they're combining those elements and also that ripped undone ending of a jeans. Marine straight jeans. Now, this is something new, and I think marine, that word, it's something connected to the sea, and I think they just took that sailor's kind of vibe, like on the sea. It's basically the same as tubes, like wide leg jeans, which is pretty tight at the butt area and waist, and then it goes much wider on the bottom. And they also make it cropped shorter, so that again something new. Maybe it looks a bit more like culottes, pants, but in jeans form. Sculpt jeans, so they have like a new tech how to combine that cotton with elastane or some kind of synthetic fabric that is very stretchy to make it more firm and to shape it very well. So like jeggings, they're very, very skinny. Full length flare. Okay, we already know what it is. Again, that looks slightly different like they did it in the 70s. So now they do length and the rise of the jeans slightly differently. That's why it looks a bit different. We have a comeback of a paperback jeans. If you remember, it's 80s. But of course, they look slightly different. They all look slightly different today. They adding something. They adding pleats. They adding some maybe roundness at the butt area just to make it more cute, like a candy looking, for more feminine figures probably. Skinny jeans, of course. Skinny as slimmer than slim jeans. So if slim has some freedom in there, skinny jeans normally have more elastane, so they really squeeze your leg all over. High-rise flared, another thing coming from the 70s probably, but still it looks slightly different. Now skinny vintage, high-rise, super skinny ankle length. You see they add this word vintage probably because of the ankle length and because of the high rise in combination with skinny fit. Probably this is why they call it vintage, just again to make us buy things, make us feel like there's a vintage aesthetic in there. Now they have jeans called the 80s. Can you imagine? Because they know that's a button. That's our consumer's button. And skinny leg, high rise, slim fit. That is 80s. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. In the next video, we're gonna talk about jeans for the body types, and we're gonna talk about all those shapes of jeans that I just told you about and what approximately they're gonna do to each body type. Stay tuned and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe on my Pinterest for 13 boards as an inspiration for the body types. Also, you can subscribe on my Instagram. All the links I'm gonna leave down below. Also, you can become my sponsor or subscribe on my Patreon for some exclusive videos, some early access to these videos, and just if you want to support me and my channel. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.